Aquamans. I don't want to see any Batgirl mans. And I don't want to see any... Who else is top tier? I can't think at the moment, but I don't want to see any of them either. Yeah, I don't want to see any Zod mans either. I don't want to see Zod balls.
What about Bane?
Bane's okay. I must break you!
Yeah, so who are you going to cheer for this year?
I'll be cheering for everybody's favorite to hate, everybody's favorite to love, Christian G, Christian Jennifer.
Christopher Gonzalez.
Yeah, I'll be cheering for Christian Jennifer.
Chris Jesus.
Yeah, because I love me some Green Arrow. I'll also be cheering for Filipino Man. Okay, try to keep tone that down, but I'll be cheering for Filipino Man and
for
WW.
You mean?
Yeah, I'll be cheering for WW. The W's. And I'll be cheering for anybody else that, might pop up that I just find myself rooting for.
Yeah, I'll be cheering just for like the underdogs and stuff.
Oh, I forgot. I'm anti top tiers. I'm anti Batman, and I'm anti Green Lantern.
Yeah. Well.
And anti boring characters like Sinestro.
Well, actually, dude, when Sinestro gets in the corner and starts doing some corner combos, yeah, those are kind of hype.
Yeah, I'm anti Sinestro.
Well, there's a possibility with Wound Cowboy in there that Sinestro could do it, but I don't know. Dude, I'm cheering for Digit with the Shazam.
Shazam!
Like
how I did that.
Like how I did that. Yep. Oh boy, we want to see some heroes, okay? I like being a hero. We want to see that windscreen over and over again. Yep.
Although we'll probably never see the windscreen, seeing as how everybody mostly rage quits or presses pause as soon as they lose.
I know, dude. I was so mad at Deg for CEO. I don't know if you ever got to watch that match, but I was so hyped when Deg was like losing with his counter pick Aquaman in the final, and like Sonic Fox just trolled him and hit him with the super at the end. And he freaking rage quit. He freaking paused at the last thing so we couldn't see the super. I was like literally like, and when he did the super, I was like literally doing the motions with Miss Barbara there. I was like, like flying up in the air, ready to step on Aquaman, but then he cut it out. Yep, I wanted to slap him. But anyways, I'm also going to cheer for Tyrant, and I know Kazuko and Jambu will be cheering for Tyrant.
Grungy, no, stop!
What is it, that Clash quote with Green Arrow and Grundy? Slow, stupid, and ugly.
Grundy, no! Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh boy. So what else are you looking for Evo? Like, you looking forward to? Are you gonna watch? You gonna watch some pools matches? I like watching like the earlier matches some because you get some of those players who might make it a couple matches in, but they don't like make it the whole way. But they might like play characters that you won't normally see.
Yeah, I mean, characters I don't want to watch. Period. Like I don't care regardless. Is Raven. Well, it's kind of exciting to see people fight Raven, but if the Raven player is dominating, it's not fun to see for me.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that's how I feel about Batman, too. When he's dominating, it's not fun.
Yeah.
And I don't really want to see Killer Frost unless they're just, like, it's a terrible matchup for Killer Frost and they're just doing work with her.
Like, actually, Killer Frost can be a little hype if they're doing, like, the cross-up, like, crazy shenanigans, corpse hop shenanigans, and, like, all that, the resets and stuff.
Yeah.
But obviously, I'll be looking for an Ares out there. If there's any Ares players, I'll be looking for them.
Mr. Aquaman.
Yeah, Mr. Aquaman. Yeah, Mr. Aquaman, it will... I don't know if he'll be there or not, but... Yeah, I guess he's cool. Oh, yeah, I'll also be cheering for Miss Selena Kyle. Even though I don't I don't play as Catwoman, 16-bit Catwoman's hype because he's destroying all those top tiers. Yeah.
And I'll be looking forward to see Deathstrokes. You know, just like there will be plenty of Deathstrokes, just like all the people that said he wasn't broken when the game first came out and were picking him. You
know. Yeah. In other words, there'll be like one or two.
Or I'll be looking forward to all the Black Adams, like all the people that were saying he wasn't broken.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Supermans. Yep, Supermans.
Yeah, like freaking KDZ is not even coming back to the title. What a chump! What a chump. Dude, oh my goodness. I was so mad when I saw that. Dude, he's a chump.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, how salty do you have to be? He's been playing all year, though, so I don't even understand it.
I think he just realized he wasn't going to get the grand prize, you know?
I mean, he probably realized that Theo was going to stop him. Theo's like a freaking stone wall. Yep. He probably cried after MLG, yep. Even though he did pretty well, I think. I can't remember.
Yeah, he's probably one of those guys that if he's not first, he's last. Just like Ricky Bobby.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course his Batman buddy Darth Arma's not going. I guess since he's not going, probably.
Wait, who's not going?
Darth Arma.
Dude, what punks?
I mean, Darth Arma probably didn't care. I mean, it could always be that they actually have some reason for not going.
Dude, what reason would there be?
I don't know. They make every other tournament.
Yeah, there's no reason.
Maybe they spend all their money on MLG. I don't know, okay? I'm giving them excuses. No, this is not the time for excuses. This is the time for call-outs, okay? KC Ghost, where are you at? Go to Evo. Okay, you lose, but who cares?
Squawk!
Squawk! Yeah, I'm not sure if Honeybee is going or not. The Flash player that beat up on KC.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's no lag on Hot Girl's pressure offline, so it would be a bad day for him. Dude, I'm telling you, if you do, we already talked about this before, but after his wing evade, forward kick that he loves to do after his, he does like mace charge or whatever meter burn attack for pressure, and then he'll do wing evade and then kick right after that. And that kick is punchable by like a down one into like sword or whatever with Ares. Or at least I know it's like, he might be able to block it, but I'll be able to pressure him back. But I can't even like get it half the time online because it's so lagging. There's such a small window on there. But yeah. Anyways, enough about KC. Who cares? Okay, he left the community. I hadn't seen him in a while. But hey, one more thing. If he does want to come play some Smash, I will show him. I'll show him what it's like to know what you're doing, okay, instead of just mashing meter burn buttons. Okay, okay, I had to put this out there. I'm sorry, Kazuko, I had to say it about your boy, KC. Okay, let's do real talk right now. Let's do real talk. I'm sorry, we're supposed to be talking about Evo, but real talk real quick, real talk. The dude, KC, just picks top tiers. He'll pick any character the way, like, they'll let him win, okay? He is picking a little bit of everybody at first. Like, Hawkgirl was around, but, okay, as you can see from, like, what's his face? The scrub? Oh, Met. Yeah, the Rage Quarter, yeah. As you can see from Met picking Hawkgirl, and he does decently, dude, Hawkgirl is just cheap, okay? And if you actually put a little bit of sense in there with Hawkgirl, she's OP. Like, I have, like, almost as hard a time against Met's Hawkgirl. I mean, I beat Met's Hawkgirl, but it comes down to a wire a lot of times versus Ares. And that just shows you, like, KC is not that good. Because if Met picks anybody else, I wreck his face, okay? So, okay, and then when Hawkgirl didn't work out for a little while, like Trey, I forget who Trey was picking against him, but I was picking Green Arrow against the Hawkgirl and beating him. So he switched to Black Adam, okay? And then Trey started beating up Black Adam, and I was beating him a little bit. And I'm not saying that we're the only ones that swing them, but, whatever. And then he got up on Black Adam because it wasn't cheap enough for him, so he went back to Hawkgirl. You may say he just loves Hot Girl, but no, that's not the truth. This is the truth. Woo! I could expose Smuckles too for being a rage quitter early on, and then just picking top tiers himself when he can't get the favorable matchup with Batman, or even when he's losing to my Aries too much, he picks Aquaman. But I won't do that. I won't expose him like that. Oh Lord.
Yeah, well, pretty much like goes down. This game, especially our version of the game, isn't balanced.
Yep.
Like too well at all. But I also don't understand why they didn't further balance Martian Manhunter and Batgirl.
Yeah.
Like in the newer one.
Yeah. Well,
her cartwheel being an anti-air is just stupid.
Okay, Kaizugo had mentioned too being like character loyalist and like does that matter and that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So let's give some advice to the youngins out there, to the TK youngins, our children, our disciples. Welcome, children. Welcome. Sit around the table for a minute. All right. So you got the gamer, Alejandro. Some other people, whoever else, might pick just top tiers over and over and over again, right? Like your characters that they think they can win with, like top tier, and they'll just change up so much. Like gamer is never going to pick the same character against you twice. And usually Alejandro isn't either, unless it's like a super close match. And like Poke's a perfect example too. He'll go to whatever he thinks is better, Batman or Scorpion or whoever, right? Well, yeah. Look, I'm not trying to hate on them because I love Gamer and Alejandro and all that. And even Poke, he doesn't seem like a bad guy. And to clarify earlier, I don't mind KC earlier either, but he gets too much praise for nothing. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Okay, but Smuckles can just take the hate. I don't care. Okay. But wouldn't you say with Alejandro and Gamer and all that, they would be much better off if they just stuck to one of those characters, like one character that they actually enjoy playing with, and just stuck to them and kind of played it out with them?
Yeah, I feel that way about Alejandro especially, is that he should just stick to Green Lantern.
Yeah.
When he switches off, I feel like he does himself a disservice by switching off. They need to just not throw in the towel, but just figure the matchup out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I feel like he plays it the same every way against every character.
Mm-hmm.
But you really can't do that. Whereas, then he'll just give up if it doesn't work. I feel like.
Yeah. You can get sometimes quick fixes, with your by counterpicking or going to a new character. But sometimes you don't find out the little stuff in the matchup that will, say if you're fighting any this is just from my perspective, if you're fighting any random Aries, and you're losing with Wonder Woman or something, and you go to Batman, that might be an immediate fix for you. You can probably win against some of them, but against me, since I've actually fought through the matchup, you're gonna lose again, because I'm just gonna know some things about that matchup since I played it so much. Jump 1 will beat his jump 2 and stuff like that. So to me it helps you grow as a player and grow your character if you're a character loyalist, or at least not trying to play 4 at the same time. Maybe 2 like you do.
Yeah.
So, there's something to be said for playing for covering your bad matchups, but
Yeah, I also feel for example, there's certain matchups you gotta fight through, but Green Arrow versus Raven, I'm not gonna play that match. That match is stupid. It's just dumb because she counters everything that he can possibly do. Yeah. So that's why I'll go to Wonder Woman, because there might be a way that I can figure it out, but I can just tell that matchup is not going to work. Whereas Green Lantern versus Green Arrow, there are a multitude of ways that Green Lantern can win. So to have to counterpick.
Yeah. How many times did you tell me that you were struggling against Green Lantern but you didn't quit on that matchup? You kept playing it, Yeah,
I just realized that the only way that I can fight Green Lantern was to run away from him, keep him out.
And to like, yeah.
And just figure out like the little things about how to like fight Green Lantern, different tactics. Yeah, but that's why I don't know why people like they'll fight me one time with Green Lantern and just like, oh nope, I'm giving up, and they'll just switch. And I feel like that matchup is not bad at all, like the Green Lantern.
Right. Like with players that know what they're doing, like they know the top tier, like I know that Superman wants to press 4-2-3 and do air lasers. Like I know that. So if you're close to me, like I have an advantage. If you're just picking Superman because he's top tier and you only know a little with him, I have an advantage because I know you want to press 4-2-3. So I mean, even though that's a good option sometimes, I mean, no, or most of the time, seeing that I know that it's coming gives me an advantage because I can react to it somehow,
Yeah.
And
that's how I feel about, like, not to call them out, but like Kyle B and Poke when they pick Scorpion. It's like the Scorpion. There's no reason they should ever lose to my Green Arrow when they pick Scorpion.
Yeah.
So for them to feel as if they have to counterpick me by like switching to Raven or by switching to or by switching to Black Adam. It's like if you have to counterpick from Scorpion to fight Green Arrow, then that's a you problem. That's not a me problem to have to counterpick Green Arrow when you're picking Scorpion.
Yeah.
Because they're just gonna jump one, gonna teleport. But I've fought so many Scorpions, and I just know what to do, what to bait out. So
yeah, but if you're a Superman guy, like if you just love Superman or whatever, and that's fine. I don't really care. Like, if you want to play Superman, that's cool. But what I'm saying, if you're gonna play Superman, play Superman. Just like figure everything out with him. Like for example, like I don't really like to watch KDZ Superman because he's just like really like pretty basic in my opinion. I mean, he has like good fundamentals where he can make reads and all that stuff, so that's why he's good. But somebody that really knows the character in and out, and he didn't stick with him fully. He switched to Wonder Woman for a lot of his matchups now. But somebody who's a Superman loyalist like Slayer, dude, if you watch a match with KDZ Superman and then you watch a match with Slayer Superman, who put more into the character? Slayer? Dude, Slayer does all these. I know KDZ's recently started picking up the dive bomb stuff, but Slayers are just like awesome. And you can tell that he loves that character and he's really into that character.
Yep. And also Superman is just one character. He's such a stupid character in my opinion. Like everything about him in this game, I just hate. Like I just hate his whole design. I can't explain it. Yeah. I feel like it's good because that's probably how Superman should play. Be overbearing in your face, kind of can do whatever he wants. But I don't know,
yeah,
that's just a reason I couldn't pick him personally. Just too stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the top tier in this game to me are kind of good, like, at the start. They're, like, pretty basic. Like, you know what to do, and you can win some games with them immediately, but they don't have too much depth. Like for example, like Black Adam, he's pretty basic.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Like Aquaman, he's pretty straightforward. Like, all the characters are pretty straightforward. They don't really have dirt and all that stuff. I mean, they have some dirt, but it's pretty basic and it's right out there for you to get. It's not like a lot of lab time is going to make that much of a difference as far as the dirt. But
yeah, oh boy, like Zod, oh my goodness, I hate Zod as a character. Everything about his character and design is just horrible in my opinion. Like, I wish that he couldn't move while using the alien. Like, how much broken does a character? I mean, not necessarily broken, but how OP does a character have to be able to like use a move where the other person can't move and yet he can still move? I mean,
yeah,
it doesn't make any sense.
He's pretty good. I mean, I just like Zod because he's cocky. But
I mean, I get that his victory scene is like probably one of the best in the game, and just his overall dialogue and his grab. Yeah, I get all that. That's hilarious. But I mean, just like the way he, I don't know. It's just so annoying.
Yeah.
All that's yours is now mine.
Yeah, and obviously, like I'm not knocking people who pick. Like, even though we don't like certain characters or whatever, I might like certain characters, you might not like them or whatever. The gamer might like different characters, but I'm not knocking people who pick like different characters, who pick a top tier. But I'm just saying, like, you might be a little better off if you didn't just pick whatever matchup you think would win instead of developing your character.
Yeah.
Like Kazuko plays two characters. He plays Grundy and Zod. And although he might pick Zod because he's top tier, he at least like spends his. He doesn't go from Zod to Superman to Green Lantern to Batman to whatever person he thinks he went. He sticks with Grundy and Zod, and that's fine. I mean that's enough to deal with right there. That's when you can really actually dive into a character. So, but enough about that. Let's get back to Evo.
Evolution. Evolution is taking place.
So pools start for Evo on Friday, for Injustice, and then Saturday is the Injustice Finals. So I'm gonna be watching all the way along. Like I said, I'm looking for the people that are kind of laying in the pools there that might pick some other characters I won't see in the finals. And then I'm looking forward to finals. We'll see a new victor this year, but like a new Evo champ, but in the same way, it'll feel kind of not as fun to me if Theo won, since that kind of feels like a repeat too, since he's won all the past, tournaments.
Yep.
But, what is it that makes Evo different? I think Evo is just like, you can really see it in like how many people are there and like that big stage and all that. It just feels more like, like any other sport you would watch on TV, like a national like competition, like not just like something at a local hotel somewhere. I mean, even though it is technically at a hotel, it's at one of the biggest ones, like the biggest one in Las Vegas. I think it's Las Vegas, yeah. But you know what I mean? Like when you watch the other tournaments, it's kind of like on a lower scale.
Yeah.
But you get that feeling of just like thousands of people, there, and thousands of people watching and stuff when you're watching Evo.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, are there going to be like new techniques shown? Like,
yeah, is there anything left?
Well, there might be.
Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering that too. Is there any tech left out there that people, we haven't seen yet?
Were you talking about some Joker player from France before, something like that?
Oh, this guy named Quark. Yeah, he's on the Test Your Mind a lot.
Is he going to be there?
I don't think so. I think his mom is like dying or something crazy.
That sucks.
Yeah. So yeah, but no, that would have been cool if he was there just to like see Joker go crazy and stuff. But Revolver could be one that like if he gets the right matchups, he could be like at what was the other tournament where he got like third or something?
Well, yeah, I guess.
Dude, he could break into top 8 if he got like the right string of people.
Yeah.
Like even if he's fighting Jupiter or something, like Lex does pretty good against Martian.
Yeah, that's another character I don't want to see is Martian. Oh man. I just hate Martian so bad.
Normally you like characters like him who like move really fast, like everybody likes those type of characters, but dude, he does it in such a way that he's moving all the time and you're not.
Yeah, I don't know. This doesn't look fun either because you're sitting there chucking stuff, chucking, and then like he goes in, so it's like so annoying.
And he goes in when Trey's up, yeah. And then he just like out pokes everybody. They literally can't move.
Yeah, what a dumb character.
He does a meter burn back B like Wonder Woman that has 2 hits and you literally can't armor through it because it has 2 hits. It's stupid.
Oh yeah, I don't know what they're thinking with that character.
But maybe we'll see, who Can you think of any of the other like players that play maybe lesser known characters or something like that, or like are really hyped that you'd like to see make it in top 8 that maybe normally wouldn't?
Yee.
Like I said, I'm cheering for Digit.
Yeah, I'm just going for anybody that picks Green Arrow or Wonder Woman.
And like I said, I like Slayer. Oh, I also like, although I don't really like Doomsday too much, White Boy's Doomsday is pretty hype usually.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I just can't stand Doomsday.
Chrono will love it.
Yeah, Papa Chrono.
Yep, Papa Chrono. Yeah,
Not to be confused with Dada.
Well, are you going to check out the Marvel and the Street Fighter top 8s and stuff?
Well, I'll probably watch, the top for Marvel.
Yeah.
Street Fighter, I probably won't unless it's like, I'd have to check the schedule. Like, if there's nothing on and I'm not doing anything, which I probably will be, so, yeah, but if I'm not doing anything, I'll check it out.
Well,
that's I really want to watch I really want to watch King of Fighter too. So.
Oh yeah, dude, that's always hype. I never watch King of Fighters like throughout the year, but like at Evo, it's always really hype.
Yeah, that's what I want to watch. I want to watch King of Fighter just because, it kind of has that. I don't want to, kind of that Marvel, the aspect that people like about Marvel, where you can be down 2 characters and then one character just brings you back in the game. Yeah, you can like come back. It kind of has that.
Dude, but it sucks the champ isn't coming back.
Oh, why? Does V said it ran out or something?
I can't remember. Stupid. I can't remember. I can't remember why not. But they said he wasn't coming back. But that game is really hype. You remember when we used to play that?
I have nightmares sometimes when we played it, but not as many nightmares I had from Street Fighter Cross Tekken, though, I'll tell you that.
Dude, who was that dude that I played that had like the bandana and he had like the explosive fist? That dude was awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was annoying.
And you played that stupid lady with the fan, Mai or whatever.
She hit the flow, so he got low.
Yeah, she might be exposing some things too. She's a little crazy.
Wiggle, okay.
I think she was in one of the, what do you call it, that screw attack, like, death battle. I think she was in one of those, fighting another chick, maybe Chun-Li or somebody. But dude, yeah. If that other girl though, the Athena is in it, that would be awesome. The girl that teleports and all that. Yeah,
I don't remember.
Anyway, I think actually most of the King of Fighters like tournament players are like from out of the country though. It's crazy.
Maybe they should be King of Japan.
And okay, well, let's talk a little bit about Marvel since you're going to watch that one probably, and I'm going to watch it, certainly.
I don't want to see top tiers, but I'll see top tiers.
Yes, you will. You'll see lots of Virgil and Doom and Dr. Doom and Dante and Zero. Oh, my Lord. Yeah, speaking of nightmares, Zero.
My hero, Zero, is such a fun little hero.
Okay. The same dude we used to play King of Fighters with, we played Marvel with, and he picked Zero. Oh my goodness. Zero May Cry. Oh my goodness. That team is dumb. At least Flocker has a Hawkeye in there, so I can respect him for that. Yeah.
All I need is some Wolverine. Wolverine!
Well, you'll see Justin Wong.
Justin Wong? How do today? Justin.
He'll be picking his Wolverine Storm Akuma, and I know you love all those characters. So
Akuma!
And he'll probably have some crazy... Dude, what bothers me about Marvel is just like Chris G's attitude about Evo. Oh my goodness, please. Although, I like watching... It's weird. I don't like watching Chris G in Marvel when he's picking his Morrigan team. Well, I guess it's not weird. because he's throwing all that stuff and it's just like looks like a repeat, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know it takes a lot of skill and all that, but I like watching him in the other games. But especially Injustice, so you pick Green Arrow. But what was I gonna say? He doesn't want to win Evo though. I mean, he does, but I think he's doing that like option select that like kind of like I don't really care about Evo. I care about Killer Instinct at Evo, not Marvel or whatever. This is bull crap. If he does, that's stupid. Like that's the best chance he has to get a first place Evo medal, win thousands of dollars, and be like, you know, confirmed as like the best, you know, in the world at Marvel, pretty much. Dude, that's dumb. So, do you want to see Chris G take it? Do you want to see Justin Wong? Do you want to just see some hype?
I want to see some hip. I want to see some hip. I want to see it hippity hoppity hoppity. And I want to see people like Yo Ham. I want to see some Wolverine. I want to see Akuma. Yep, I want to see it. I want to see Bub. I'm the best at what I do, and what I do isn't very nice. I want to see it.
And you know, Marvel's so crazy and random that there's always a random person that gets in top 8 that you haven't seen before.
Oh, I haven't seen any of them before.
Well, last year it was a dude named Zach or something. But the year before that, it was like a dude named Fruitsy or something that played MODOK, and it was hilarious. And, dude, I'm just looking forward to somebody pulling out some obscure characters like Phoenix Wright. Let's go. Okay, he's not going to make it, but yeah. There's this one cheap dude. I don't know if you've seen him play. His name is Apology Man. And he plays the cheapest junk. Because, you know, Marvel is all about the setups, on blocking the setups.
Yeah.
Like on the incoming, you know? Like, once you kill a character, basically you got to guess. Well, this dude does some setup with who is it? Is it Doom Firebrand? Somebody, or he sets it up and makes them hold still, and he does that sweeping move with Firebrand when they income, and it's like literally unblockable, and he just resets them. I love Firebrand, so I love watching him. He's awesome. Yep. Oh, I love watching this dude named Kane Blue River. He plays like the big bodies. He plays Hulk and what's that, Hagar? Yes.
Talking about the man with the mustache, the man.
The mayor, yep, mayor, yep.
That man keeps eating me.
With that pipe, yep, that big pipe.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, but Street Fighter would be awesome too. You should watch it. That would be the last thing.
Japan, USA.
Yep, Japan versus USA. There'll be Daigo, I'm sure, and like all those killers like Tokido and all those guys with PR Balrog and Justin Wong, all those, everybody going head to head. And it'll be Ultra Street Fighter 4 too, so there'll be like all the new characters, like, you know, all those cross-Tekken characters are in it now, like Hugo and Poison and Rolento and who else?
Shadowflame! No, I was playing.
Hugo is hype though, dude. He has so much armor and so much priority that he just smashes through everybody. He's awesome. But
well, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, but I was also gonna say, I mean, no, it's not involved with Evo, but the 3DS getting a tournament by Nintendo July 25th for Smash Bros.
Yeah, we'll definitely well, we can talk about that now, but we'll definitely also add that to our next discussion. Hopefully, some more news will be out too. But yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, but pretty much, dude, it looks crazy. I mean, who would have thought that Nintendo would put out a July 25th tournament for Smash Bros. 3DS? Like I said, I think that this is still part of their beta phase. It has to be.
Yeah.
Because, you know, he told us that, you know, the game wasn't complete from what we saw there.
Yeah.
So they might have, you know, tested, you know, used that as kind of a beta. They might use this as kind of a beta, but, you know, so maybe they're trying to, like, balance the select characters they have now and then, like, try to add in more characters to, like, you know, see how they fit in towards, you know, overall balancing too.
Dude, I doubt it at this point. It is so late. Like, if you think, I know, you know, it seems a lot of us they have months to go.
I mean, well, it does come out in October, so, I mean, I'm sure it went I mean, I'm sure they have all the characters made, but I mean, it wouldn't be. I mean, I'm pretty sure that the system or whatever they're using, he could tweak a character in like a day or less than a day. You know, just like
Yeah.
Mario
I don't know
tweaks.
about adding new characters is what I was saying.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, you know, new characters as far as the ones he didn't release yet, you know, like, maybe, like, have these characters, like, out. Yeah, I mean, like, Palutena, them weren't playable, so, and Pac-Man wasn't playable. So, I'm like, maybe, like, with each release or with each tournament they have, they could, like, drop in another character in the, you know, roster and help balance it out, and then balance all those characters, and then add another character and see how they're balanced, too.
Well,
I mean,
what I'm telling you is they pretty much just like take out some of the characters for those things. I mean, I think they've had the roster set for a while now.
yeah, but I mean, like, as far as, like, you know, just tweaks.
Yeah, no, definitely, yeah. I hope so. I hope they're taking, because, yeah, I mean, all those guys, I know they asked all those guys at the whatever thing for adjustments and stuff for help. Although I hope they didn't take their input on wave dashing.
Yeah.
Well, where is this 3DS tournament going to be at?
San Diego.
Oh, yeah, Comic-Con, right? Comic-Con, yeah.
San Diego
Yeah,
Superchargers. San Diego Chargers. Chargers.
And I wish, unfortunately, I won't be able to go to TFC this year because it's on the same weekend as something else I'm doing. But I would go to that and enter the 3DS tournament there, but yeah. That stinks, but, you know, whatevsies. I'll watch it still, though.
Oh, yeah, and did you see on IGN that, I know we're still be talking about Evo and all that, but y'all don't care. Y'all love it. Y'all hate it. I love it. You underdogs on top. Okay, but yeah. Yeah, well, they said that Nintendo won IGN's, like, all three of IGN's awards, like, their polls for, like, E3. So they won, like, Best of Show, Best Reveal, and, like, there was one other, I can't remember.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry to tell you this, but I think it was after you left on the podcast, we talked about that, how Nintendo won the IGN contest.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter if I wasn't part of it. So, yeah, like I said, they won the three. And so, yeah, like, I was saying, that's pretty much what people need to realize, that Nintendo's been putting games out like crazy, and there's been articles, people talking about the Wii U should be a must-have system right now.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, there's games like Mario Kart 8 or Mario Kart Wait or Mario Kart. I was in first place until I got hit by about 8 red shells. Yeah. Yeah, they're talking about how games like that, you know, the indie game scene might be shifting towards there, like a Shovel Knight and Shovel Knight. Yeah, but I feel like the Wii U is a pretty good system. I mean, of course, we all have Injustice. Most of the people listening to this.
Yeah.
But I mean, for those that don't have Injustice, you still got Donkey Kong, and you got, you know, like the games I mentioned. So, you know, 3D World. You got Nintendo Land, which is a hugely underrated game.
Yeah.
That's one of those games that if you don't have anybody to play with, yeah, the game's terrible. If you got 3 or 4 buddies to play with, it's on swag.
Yep. And they got, like, the Wind Waker HD remake. They got Pikmin 3. They got the Wonderful 101 game. They got, let's see, what else? The new game that I just bought, which is awesome, by the way. I'll be talking about that on the next podcast episode. The One Piece Unlimited World Red, that game is hype. Let's just say I'll be giving it a good rating. I would say any One Piece fans definitely get it, for sure. It's the best One Piece game I've played thus far, and I've played them all, so. Played them all that have been over here, so. Okay.
I had to get my whistles out.
Oh boy.
Hashtag Rosalina, but okay, yeah. Yeah, like I was gonna say, yeah. So I feel like, you know, Nintendo. I mean, they put out so many games. There's a lot of games for the Wii U that I don't even have yet that I still want.
Yeah.
Then I don't even have a 3DS. Yes, I know, shame. But, you know, there's a ton of 3DS games I still want, like Fire Emblem, and we still need to see some Advance Wars. I'm calling it. We need some
Pokemon.
Advance Wars. Yeah, well, you guys have your Pocket Mans.
I
And
can't believe you don't like Pokemon. That just always baffles me.
And we need a true Paper Mario game. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Funny story, by the way.
Yeah.
Noah Trey 15 has a funny story, by the way. Okay. So I have a next door neighbor that apparently is a huge Nintendo fan. The kid is about 11, 10.
Story time.
Story time with Robert Nova Trey 15. Get it right? Get it right? Okay, yeah. So apparently he comes by and he's like, oh, yeah. He's talking about these games. And so then he pretty much just invites himself to my house. And I'm like, okay. And he's going through my collection. And he freaks out when he sees Ocarina of Time, you know, the GameCube edition. He sees, what do you see? Majora's Mask GameCube edition. He sees Twilight Princess Wii edition. He sees Skyward Sword. He's like freaking out. And he's like, yeah. I was like, oh, you can borrow it. He's like, no, I don't need to borrow it. I've beaten them all. I beat them. I was like, so which one's your favorite? Oh, Twilight Princess. I'm like, dude, over Ocarina of Time? He goes, well, actually, Ocarina of Time, the graphics are too bad. I'm like, dude, the graphics? I was like, well, let me tell you back when I was a kid, young man. So the kid, he goes off about how, you know, the Zone is, you know, it's his favorite. And then he asked me if I play Smash Bros. I'm like, yeah, I play Smash Bros. And he's like, no, yeah, I can beat you. I'm like, okay, who do you pick? He goes, well, actually, I like all the Zelda characters, like Link and Toon Link and Zelda. I'm like, and Ganondorf? He goes, Ganondorf is terrible. I'm like, okay, yeah, okay, I can see that. And then he's, you know, he's just going off about, you know, all the stuff, and I tell him, I'm like, oh, I'm a Link main too, see, you know. So the kid, well, you know, I have a copy of Brawl, but it's broken. You know those double disc or whatever it is, dual disc, dual monsters. Yeah, those dual discs I have. And so, yeah, he like gives me, you know, a copy of his Brawl, you know. And then I'm like, dang. So I was like, although I'm not really in the mood to play Brawl because I put myself on a self-imposed Smash Bros. Hiatus so that I can be fresh when the new game comes out.
Well, I've been practicing all the time.
and so then he just wants me to borrow the game. And then I find out it's not even his game. It's a game he's borrowed from another friend. I'm like, kid, I'm not going to borrow this game from you and have some mother angry at me because I'm borrowing her son's game who gave it to another kid. So I'm like, yeah, you just hold on to this. And then so he's looking through all my games, and then he's like, what is this? The kid points at my favorite game on the GameCube, Paper Mario, the 1,000-Year Door. I said, the 1,000-Year Door. And so I'm just like, kid, you know what you just pointed at? Do you know what you just witnessed? Do you know what your eyes just looked at? He's like, isn't this game? He goes, oh yeah, I have Sticker Star on 3DS. I'm like, no, you do not have Paper Mario 1,000-Year Door. You have Sticker Star, which was a rushed copy of a game, not a true sequel to Paper Mario 1,000-Year Door. And so he just looks at me and he's like, well, I don't have a game. I'm like, kid, you have a Wii. He goes, yeah. I'm like, then you have a GameCube. I'm like, I will let you borrow this game if you promise me that you will not break this game. The back of this game, you see the bottom of this disc? You do not touch the bottom of this disc. There will be no lines on the bottom of this disc. Do you like jelly on your toast? There will be no jelly on this disc.
Peanut butter jelly time.
You can have all the jelly you like, but there will be no jelly on this disc. And so he looks at it and he's like, I don't have a memory card. So I'm looking everywhere for my memory card. And I give him a memory card. And I told him he can delete what was on it, which I found out was Melee. All my Melee data was erased from it. So,
yay.
Yeah, so yeah, that's a whole nother story. But so he deletes that. And then, so as I'm playing online, you know, probably playing against Met and having him rage quit against me, I hear a knocking on my door, knocking. And so he's like, this game is awesome. I'm already in like something Meadows. I'm like, dude, how did you get that far already? And then yeah, he's like talking. He's like talking. And I said, so did you meet Coops yet? He's like, spoilers, spoilers. I'm like, okay. You didn't get that far yet. So I guess he had just gotten into the first town in the game, but he was already in love with the game. And I was like, so who's your favorite character so far? He goes, I'll have to see. I'm like, Goombella is not your favorite character? Give me that game back. But yeah, so apparently, so apparently, so apparently, you know, he didn't like Goombella until I forced him to like Goombella as his favorite character. His favorite characters has to be Goombella or Vivian. Everybody who's ever played Paper Mario Thousand Year Door knows. And so, yeah. So, like I was gonna say, they need to put a new Paper Mario game out on the Wii U. If they do, my mind will just go blank.
Oh boy.
We don't need a fake Paper Mario like 3DS version. We need a real Paper Mario by Intelligent Systems, although they're working on Codename Steam. And
sworn in.
That game looks so iffy, I might just buy it just because it's an Intelligent System. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they do make some of your favorite games.
They made Advance Wars. They made the Paper Mario series. They made the Mario and Luigi series. Yeah, they made Fire Emblem. Yeah, they're just beasts.
They're beasts. Look, if they go bad like they do wrong with Codename Steam, they get a mulligan. Okay, they get a freebie. Okay, they get like when the little kids are playing in volleyball and they can't hit over the net, they get a redo.
They get a redo. Yeah, I love that company. They're probably my favorite Nintendo company.
Do over. You remember when kids on the playground used to always say that?
I was gonna. Oh yeah, I know.
Wait, hey, you're breaking up.
The block. Yeah, but.
You're breaking up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, I thought we have a special, but okay, yeah. So, hello, am I still there? Yeah. Is Rover Nova Trey 15 still here? Okay. Yeah. So, like I was gonna say, I know that they're supposed to be talking about Evo episode, but this is Rover Nova Trey 15. And Rover Nova Trey 15 does what Rover Nova Trey 15 does. So, I know Jambi had asked the question, like, what games got us into gaming? So should we talk about that now, or should we?
Yay, let's do it. Well, I think he said what got us into fighting games? No, he said gaming. We could do both. How about that? Both.
All right, let's do it. You want to go first or shall I go first?
Sure, you can. All right, I'll go first. Since you've been having story time for a little while. Oh, I was going to say about the do-over thing. I used to hate that one on the playground, like when you're at recess in elementary school. You know, a kid would, like, get a bad kick and kick ball and say, do-over, or something like that. Like, you know, those kids.
Yeah.
You're supposed to take one to the chin and move on. Okay, okay. So, games. Let's see what got me into gaming. Well, I did play the original Nintendo, but that's not what got me into gaming. The first system that I would say got me into gaming was the Sega Genesis. The Sega Genesis is a classic. That game, dude. Okay, whatever games they put up there from the Sega Genesis. Okay, you can even see this on my Wii right now, on my Wii U, on my Wii form. If you look on it, I got so many Sega Genesis games, like Boogerman. Yep, even Boogerman. Okay, I got them all. But mostly, okay, there's this classic game. Everybody loves this game. Usually movie games are terrible, especially nowadays. They're terrible, except for like Spider-Man 2 and a few games like that. But Aladdin on the Sega Genesis was legit. I can still hear that music in my head. And look, the music that you would always hear on like the desert levels and something. And that game was so hard, and you know you couldn't save the game, so you had to beat it all in one try. I played the same levels over and over and over again until I was trying to beat that game. That game was hard. And this was when I was like 4 or 5. I was going in, okay? I was already going in. That's why I'm top tier, okay? I was going in. and and that's why I can't understand why some people are bad at platformers today, because I've been playing them since, like, I was a little kid. So I can't understand when people just don't get how to do, like, a basic Mario jump or something. Yep. But also some other games to shout out on the Sega Genesis were the X-Men games on there. Those X-Men games, they had co-op and everything, and it was awesome, especially like when we got far, like I said, you couldn't really save it. You had to start over if you lost. So, dude, that's what was so challenging about those old games. But, like, you could unlock Magneto, one of them. When we unlocked Magneto, me and my brother were hyped. We were getting hyped. And, like, some other games on Sega Genesis, they had that Justice League game on Sega Genesis. They had, like, all these games. They had the Rocket Knight on Sega Genesis. Rocket Knight is my game. Oh, my goodness. And even Vector Man and even Bugsy, yeah. All those, dude, I play Sonic. Oh, yeah. How could I forget about the Sonic games? Oh, yeah, that Green Hill Zone, all the music. Oh, yeah, dude, I love those games. So, yeah, Sega Genesis did it for me. And then was the N64. And I was like that kid in that famous video when he opened his N64. That was awesome. All right, well, I'll let you go because I talked for a while.
All right, so I guess since you did your early days, I'll go to my early days. Well, for me, I guess when I got into video games is a little tougher because it seems like I can't pinpoint exactly when I first started playing because I know my mom was always into Pac-Man. She was really good in Pac-Man. So she would play Pac-Man and Pac-Man 2, or what I want to say was the Atari. I'm not sure. And so, and my dad, I guess he got an Atari for free, so I would play like a bunch of the Atari games. You know how the Atari games were. They were like so unfair. There was a Spider-Man game where it was like you would die every 5 seconds. And there was like a game called Pitfall where you just run and die.
Yeah.
I mean, that game was so terrible. But then I remember I would get babysat by like my babysitters. They'd be playing Street Fighter 2 and like they'd be fighting. And I remember one of the times that we went, well, this wouldn't be my earliest stage. This is the first time I ever saw a fighting game. Is that everybody remembers the famous Michael Jordan shot. I don't know how many fans of the NBA we have here, but everyone knows that famous Michael Jordan shot where he beats the Jazz, where he shoots his last shot,
Yeah.
So we were probably about, 7 at that time, but I was downstairs in, like, my parents' friend's basement playing with their, like, teenage kids. They had, like, a huge Street Fighter 2 tournament.
Yeah.
And I remember just seeing Vega, like, climbing on the fence and all that stuff and thought it was so awesome. I remember they, like, gave me the controller as a joke, and I, like, got destroyed so bad because I didn't know what to do or anything. They didn't tell me anything, just a kid, he, like, gave it to me and, like, whooped on me. I remember thinking that was, like, so cool, like, just the way it was. But I would guess, like, the earliest times I remember with video games was when my parents first got the Super Nintendo. And, like, I mean, I had played, like, my dad loved the game called, what is it called, like, Bad Dudes? And it was like, are you a bad enough dude to save the president? My dad would beat that game all the time, and I would just sit there and watch him play it. And when I got babysat, I would, like, go to, like, my babysitter had, like, the Ninja Turtles game on NES. If anybody's ever played that game, how stupid hard it was. It was like I'd always get to the water level and just die. Like, water level, die. Well, I was probably only about, like, maybe 4 or 5 at the time. But, yeah, water level, die. But when the Super Nintendo came out, and my parents got Donkey Kong Country, because it was like the Donkey Kong Country box for Super Nintendo. Mm-hmm. And I remember thinking that game was so cool. And this is what's weird with me is that my parents have never played video games. But my parents had gotten to the last level of Donkey Kong Country with King K. Rool. And, like, my mom, she, like, beat, like, King K. Rool, which is weird. Now, if you ever met my mom, just the thought of her even, like, playing and beating a boss, like a final boss in the game, would just, like, blow your mind. But she beat, like, the final boss in Donkey Kong Country, and she just, like, started screaming and, like, running out of the room. And, like, if you've ever played Donkey Kong Country, like, once you beat the final boss, the, like, credits roll up, and then it's, like, it has, like, a question mark because, like, is he really dead? I remember him coming back up, he like gets faster. I remember I was like calling my mom to get back in. She didn't come back in until like King K. Rool gets back up, and I like played it, and like Donkey Kong died. All I had left was Diddy, and I somehow beat it. And I remember thinking, I just beat the last level of this game. Like I didn't play any of the levels, any of the other levels, but I beat like the last boss. And trying to explain that to my mom, but she was like, "No, I already beat it." You know, I remember thinking that was like so cool. You know, I sound like the boy that cried wolf. And so, like, you know, I didn't really play that game as much. You know, I played Donkey Kong Country. But then the game that really got me, well, I guess also we went to my grandma's for Christmas that year, and, like, we got she heard we got the Super Nintendo, so she bought us Super Mario World. And I played the mess out of that game with my sister. I remember playing that game forever. But it wasn't until one of my friends like brought Donkey Kong Country 2 over and like, you know, showed us the game. And I remember immediately that's when I fell in love with video games. Everything about that game was just great. It was Diddy was my favorite character from the first one because me and my sister would argue forever. You know, because you had to like slap hands to like switch from first player to second player. And so we'd always be fighting over the controller. Like, we had two controllers. We'd be trying to get the other person to press A so they'd have to switch. We tried to make the other person die so that we could play. And, like, you know, my sister's older than me. She's pretty good at games. Like, I don't know, it's weird. Like, if you even met my sister, you wouldn't think that she was good at games. But we'd fight. But when Donkey Kong Country 2 came out, it was, like, the most awesome game in the world. Like, all the music, me and my sister, like, made, like, lyrics to all the songs in that game. And we just, like, loved that game so much. And I would, like, go to, like, you know, school, like, church, and kids would have, like, different, like, strategies. They had to beat a level. And, like, all the cheat codes. And they told me I had to get, like, 75 Kremlin coins and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But that game is what really got me hooked on video games. And then, when Turtles in Time came out, it was a wrap. Me and my sister play that game every day. We play that game so much. We played battle mode. Dude, I used to
go to Chuck E. Cheese. They had a Turtles in Time machine. I used to go there just to play Turtles in Time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that reminds me. At Chuck E. Cheese, I would go to Chuck E. Cheese. And all I would ever do was play the first Turtles game on arcade, you know?
Yeah.
The one where there's fire everywhere.
Yeah.
And like the first level, I would play that every time. Every time we went, my mom would get so mad. But me and my sister played that Turtles game so much that my dad sold the game because he was like, this game must be bad. He was like, these kids are like hooked. You know, because they would like read all the stuff about kids that play video games. He like sold it. I remember crying so much because he was like, this game has to be bad. These kids won't do anything else but play this game and argue all the time. And like, I feel like that's how I got like my good footsie skills and like fighting games, because if you play that Turtles in Time game, like you don't have any combos or anything. It's just, you know, you gotta hit the other person. So it's like you literally have and my sister would pick Donatello, who has a huge bow staff and has like huge range, and I would pick like Michelangelo, whose like range is terrible compared to Donatello.
Yeah.
Oh, and another thing, me and my sister, because another game that really came, one of my friends brought over Mario Bros. All-Stars, and that was the first time that I got to experience like Mario Bros. 3 and 2 and 1, and they had a battle mode in Mario Bros. 3. Yeah, so we would play that battle mode forever. We'd play against my friend and I'd win. I'd play against like my other friend, I'd win. Play against my other friend and win. Then it would be my sister, and oh my goodness, we'd be playing that game for, like, I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but it looks kind of like the stage for Mario Bros. On Smash Bros. You know, the stage that nobody liked, where you can do the walkouts, and there's the ghost that come, the fireball, and the turtles from the pipes. Yeah, but it looked just like that. But me and my sister would play that, and we would get so competitive that, you know, it was almost like King of the Hill in Injustice, where one of us would win, the other one would get so mad, we'd run through all our friends, and we had to play each other again, and we just go at it, like, so bad. It got to the point where my friend let us he wouldn't let us borrow it because he was so mad that we were winning. And my dad was like in the military, and he was like, I want to say he was like in Afghanistan at the time. And so one of the things he did when he came back, because I guess he was like deployed for like 6 or 7 months, when he came back, he brought Mario Bros. 3. I mean, he brought Super Mario Bros. All-Stars. And me and my sister went so crazy. We put that game in, and we like played, and we like battled so long. And I think our record was like 60 to like 50, and I was like 50. And I remember crying so bad when I went to bed because she just like dominated me. Like I would always be Luigi, and she would be Mario. And like it was so bad, but we got super competitive. But to me, that's what video games were all about. So that was my Super Nintendo era of video games, I guess. So I was pretty much a fan of Nintendo by the Super Nintendo era.
Hey! You don't need to crucify me, okay? I'm sorry. I played the Genesis. I'm sorry. Dude, the Genesis was legit. I had like 40. I still have like 40 games on that system at my parents' house. Dude, it's insane. I'm serious. I have like 40 games. Dude, that game, that system is OP. That's when Sega was actually a thing.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, in retrospect, I played like the Super Nintendo games. A lot of them that weren't like, that were just exclusively Super Nintendo games. I ended up playing later on since I didn't have a Super Nintendo, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I had a good time with the Genesis. Oh yeah. But, yeah, dude, some other classic systems, of course, the original Game Boy had that, and then, like, N64, Game Boy Color, all of them, yep. Oh, yeah. But I wouldn't say, like, for fighting games, I did play Street Fighter 2, just like you, when it came out, like, earlier on, or whatever, when it came to consoles, I played it, especially, and, that was cool and everything, but I didn't really get into fighting games until Smash Bros. I was into Smash Bros. And then I would always rent like Tekken from Blockbuster and stuff. I never owned it because my brother was like a Sony guy. What else, dude? I mean, we'd play like we used to go in on the Budokai games. Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, and Soul Calibur especially, oh my goodness. Yeah, I love those games. I mean, like, I guess, you like kind of like what you're good at, right? Like, you generally like what you're good at, and I was like so good at Budokai and like Tekken and Soul Calibur just amongst like the neighborhood people and my brother and everybody. Like, I beat my brother all the time in that. And like just every fighting game and Super Smash Bros. And all that stuff. So I guess I just like liked it so much, but I didn't really know about like the deeper stuff until like much later.
Yeah, that's kind of how it was for me too, because like I said, well, it got to the point where I want to say, I can't remember when the N64 exactly came out, but I remember for Christmas my mom was like, which system do you want? Like, she had like the PlayStation, she had the 64 right there. I remember looking at both in the magazine, and I remember just like going back and forth, like, which one should I get? Like, which one should I get? I remember, because everyone was talking about PlayStation, my neighbor was talking about PlayStation, but it wasn't until I went to Sears and played Mario 64 on the demo, on the kiosk. That game was like, oh my goodness, like, I don't know if anybody's like too young like DJ or anything, you can't understand how good that game looked compared to what we had.
And how expansive it was, like how deep and like how, you could do so much.
Yeah, you could just swim in the water. It looked like claymation, like it looked like a piece of clay that you molded up and it was just running around. It looked so amazing. And like everything about it just looked so good.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I remember like my friend had brought over Mario Kart 64 and playing that, and like couldn't even like fathom how the graphics could look that good. And so I asked my mom for like a Nintendo 64 with Mario Kart 64 and Mario. And so when I went to bed that night for Christmas, I could hear my dad downstairs playing the game because he was playing Madden 64, and he was telling me to go back upstairs. And then he told me it was okay if I like took a peek. But my mom was like, no. She was like, go back upstairs. And so then I could hear my dad playing it all night long, and I remember crying when it was Christmas because I could hear him playing that game all night long, going crazy. And it wasn't until I woke up and saw Madden 64, played with my dad, and then when it was time to see the other game, Diddy Kong Racing, I asked for Mario Kart 64 and Mario 64, and what I get is Madden 64 and Diddy Kong Racing. And so I was so mad. My mom was like, well, you always loved Diddy and Diddy's Kong Country, and you loved Donkey Kong Country, so I figured you like this better. But I remember being so mad. But when I played that game, that game was legit. I played the mess out of that game.
Diddy Kong Racing was the stuff, man.
And my character was Tip Top. Hey, it's Tip Top. Yeah, I played the mess out of that game. Like, I don't know if anybody's ever played me in a game. I'm a beast in that game. I know guys think
still like the best racing game ever.
Yeah, I know guys probably listening to this and thinking, well, I beat you all the time in Mario Kart 8, but no. This is what we're talking about, no lag online, where people can't phase through shells, okay? and second of all, this game was awesome. I played this game so much. It was so amazing. I remember that being the game that kind of got me into racing, but I wouldn't say I was a true Nintendo fan. I just like video games. I wasn't really diehard. But it wasn't until, I had moved because my dad was in the military, so we moved from Nebraska to England. And so it wasn't until there that one of my friends, the Pokemon craze kind of missed out on us because my mom had heard that, it was like, it was kind of, my parents were the type that if something was too good, then it had to be bad. Like, there was no way that kids could, like something that much. So, they thought Pokemon was bad because they saw this stuff about kids, like, killing over cards or fighting. So, that's how my parents were. They're like, no, it's bad. So we didn't really get it. So, I remember, like, so I kind of missed out on the Pokemon craze. And so my friends were telling me about Smash Bros. I was just like, what do you, like, it didn't make any sense. They're like, you can pick Mario, you can pick Jigglypuff. I was like, who's Jigglypuff? Like, it's a Pokemon. They're like, you can pick, like, Mario, you can pick Yoshi, you can pick Donkey. It didn't even make any sense. Like, I was trying to, like, picture it in my mind, but nothing they said made any type of sense. So when I played it, I went to my friend's house. It was one of my friend's house. I always went to his house. And, I went there, and they had told me to pick Jigglypuff. So I picked Jigglypuff and played through. I thought it was the most weird thing. You start off fighting Link. I had played a little bit of Ocarina of Time at that same friend's house. And then next year fighting Star Fox. I had played Star Fox 64. But, I didn't associate those with being Nintendo.
Press CR twice.
I just associated them with being, just video game characters. To me it was just, like, so weird to see, you're fighting Yoshi, you're fighting Mario. Like, it was so weird.
Yeah.
But then when I finally bought Smash Bros. For myself, it was a wrap. Like, that's when I truly became a Nintendo fan.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it was exactly one game or the other, but it was just like all those games on N64, like Ocarina of Time, trying to figure out how to beat that with my friends and everybody, and like, playing that game, playing Super Mario 64, like you said, Diddy Kong Racing, playing GoldenEye, even, like, dude, all the games, like N64 is just like, it was a wrap. I was a Nintendo fan for life after that. Dude, I remember getting Nintendo Power after that, and then, like, being, like, wondering about next systems, all that, hearing all that stuff about the Sony system, stuff like, PlayStation, new PlayStation, all that stuff, PlayStation 2 or whatever. But then I opened that Nintendo Power magazine and had that big Melee spread. I was like, yo, Melee, let's go.
Yeah, that's similar to how I was too, because, as we started getting older, as you start getting into your middle school years and stuff, that's when you want to be grown. You don't want to play kid games. You want to play, the cool, the dude bro gamer type games. You want to be cool. Once you're 12, 13, I feel like that's when you want to play the most hardcore game ever. It's not till you get back to your 20s that you don't care, like, you're not impressed by the cool games. Yeah, you just want to play games, So, like, I was like, you know, I loved my Nintendo, but everybody I knew at that point was like pro PlayStation. They're like, oh, you don't play this? Oh, you don't have this? Oh, you don't, you know, so at that point I was like, you know what? The GameCube looks like it's going to be a failure. It's purple. You know, purple's like, you know, and then it's like a cube. It looks so stupid.
Yeah,
The controller looks terrible. You know, everything. You know, I was like, what, 11 at the time? 11, 10? You know, so I was like, yeah, this looks so stupid. I'm not going to get it. And then, so, you know, I was like opening up. I would read EGM. I don't know if anybody remembers that, Electronic Gaming Monthly. So I would read that. Like, I'd go to the store and, like, my mom would buy me a couple. And so I, like, knew about, like, all the different games on PS2 and all that because, you know, I'd read that. But then they had an issue on, like, Xbox versus GameCube. And seeing that Star Fox Adventure, seeing that Metroid Prime, seeing that, like, Melee, seeing that Wind Waker, like, I was sold. Like, how good Donkey Kong looked in that game and the Ice Climbers and everything. It was like, I was sold. I was getting that.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like Nintendo for life because I was a Nintendo fan during the 64 years, but that pretty much, I mean, I feel like if you bought a GameCube, you had to be a Nintendo fan. You were either a kid whose like parents just like, yo, gave you a GameCube because it was a kiddie console, or you were like a Nintendo fan, I feel like.
Yeah. Well,
that's pretty much,
I was going to say, just tell them, this is kind of a mutual, if I understand it right, like, from my perspective, when we became, like, really big fighting game fans specifically, was kind of at the same time. Right?
Yeah. So, I mean, we both like Smash Bros.
Yeah, we were both, like, into all, like, short hopping and did some of that, like, more advanced stuff from that, just from playing every year. And like, I don't know about you, Trey, but, like, how I would learn stuff is basically through playing other Brawl players, like, playing other people. Like, I didn't know about the whole big tournament scene and all that yet.
Well, I knew somewhat about it because I had internet pretty early on. Because my mom was like doing computer online and stuff, so I mean I had slow dial-up.
Yeah.
So I used to like be like a forum nerd like Kai, and so I would go to like the Sega forums.
I'm a forum nerd.
I mean I was a huge lurker. I was a big time lurker, so I would lurk on like for some reason because I got into Sega like Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Yeah. I just love that game.
Yeah, that game.
And like on there it was like if we're going to learn more, go to Sega.com. So I would, like, lurk the Sega forums. And there'd be, like, this guy called, like, Bear89. There'd be a guy called, like, J King something. And there's a guy called Goblin. And everybody would call him a troll. And he'd be like, I'm not a troll, I'm a goblin. And I was just like, why does he keep saying that? I would be like, why do they keep calling him a troll when he's obviously a goblin? You know, it was like one of those things where, you know, I just didn't get it. You know, looking back, he was like one of the most clever trolls of all time.
Okay,
like name yourself. Okay, but yeah, so like you know, I was like like the scavenger like the different forums. You know, that's how I figured out what games to play. Yeah. And so, you know, I would like play Melee, and then I became such a beast at that game where like I would pretty much play it and I wouldn't lose to anybody. Like I'd play all my friends, I picked Marth, and I'd never lose. And so I started playing WWE Here Comes the Pain on PlayStation 2, which, you know, of course isn't a true fighting game either. And I just start beating everybody in that too. You know, my philosophy in characters was always kind of like it is in Injustice, where if I saw a character was too good, I wouldn't pick them. Where all my friends would pick like old school Undertaker and The Rock and
you picked Martha Bailey, come on now.
Well, I didn't know he was like top tier because I didn't. Yeah, I mean, I picked Marv just because I was good with Marv, not necessarily because I knew he was top tier. You know, it wasn't until I started looking at the scene and saw that the guy that picked Ken, or Ken that was picking Marth, that he was winning every tournament. Yeah. You know, that I started realizing that Marth was like an OP character, so I started picking more of like Yoshi and stuff. But it wasn't until, like, I think I got to, like, high school where I met a guy that played Melee some more, and that was, like, the first time that I really got, challenged, because usually I would, like, just destroy people. Yeah. And he would pick Sheik, and he was the first person that could avoid some of my techniques and stuff. Yeah. And so just fighting him really made me better. And yeah, so yeah, that's how I got more into the fighting game scene, I guess.
No, that's not the whole story I was looking for though.
Oh, you're talking about, you're talking
Hang
about.
on there. Wait. Let me catch up to speed, I guess, since you did. I was just gonna say that, like for me, I never had that. Well, I had a guy that I played with a lot, one of my good friends at the time in high school, but aside from that, I had the random people that like that we would find out that there were Smash Bros. And we would play or whatever. Like we would find out like, hey, you like Smash Bros? I like Smash Bros. Let's play sometime. Everybody thinks that they can beat you and all that, right? So I would find out that, and then I would like just beat them. And then like I went to like this tournament at school, and I just wanted just like everybody just, yeah, like there was really nobody that like would beat me and stuff. So, but then, all right. This is a little background story about how I met Trey in Blue Fire, too. Dude, I feel like Blue Fire should kind of be here for this, but we'll get him on his nostalgia and all that, because I'm sure he'll enjoy that. We'll get him on that on the next episode. What I was going to say is, I met this dude, Trey at college, okay?
Robert Trey 15.
Trey, okay, yep, he was going by Roanoke Trey, no.
Okay. What's your name? KingshakI. What's your name? Robert Trey 15.
I met him like one time I saw him, but then like we kind of like had some similarities or whatever, and like I was wearing a shirt that he like recognized, stuff like that. Anyway, so I never really talked to him until a while later. And I walked up to him and like just started talking to him. I was like, hey, you're that guy that blah blah blah. And I interrupted his conversation with someone else, and then I was like, oh, you like Smash Bros? I like Smash Bros. You like the same kind of music? I like the same kind of music, blah, blah, blah. We like, going whatever. And then, like, he said he got some boys to bring over to play Smash Bros. So he brought his crew over, okay? One of them was one of them, I opened the door for him, and he had his hood over his head, and he looked at me, and then just walked past me. He didn't say thank you or anything. Nope. He didn't even talk to me. Yep. Okay, but then there's another dude named Blue Fire, okay, and he was real cool. He was like super polite. He was like, hello, yes, nice to meet you, nice to meet you, sir, and all that stuff, okay. And then we went up to my room, we played some Smash Bros. I thought, I was like, well, let's see how good these guys are, because I haven't really met anybody that could beat me, okay. But then the first free-for-all, Trey won it. And then the second free-for-all, Trey won it. The third one, he won it. I was like, oh my goodness, this dude's pretty good. So then it like actually made me want to get better at the game, figure out how to get better and like practice and stuff, because I haven't played it in a while too. And then like I found out they play all the time like with them, so I started going over to their dorm and playing in college and stuff. We started playing, and then like me and Trey would have these crazy battles, just like over and over again, 1v1s like crazy over and over and over again. And Blue Fire as well, and another crazy guy who was a brother that. Yeah, and then so I really liked the competition and like all that, and it was really fun. And like we would get challenged by like people on campus and stuff. There's one dude we call Meathead. Yep, he challenged us in his room, and like we were doing good against all of them. And then like Meathead was actually pretty bad, but he just knew this thing with Game and Watch was kind of cheap. But then I had to leave, but then Trey dissected him and beat him. Okay, so yep, and then, so that was like pretty fun, getting challenged by people and just beating everybody. But then, okay, here's where it turns into, from just Smash Bros, like, fan, like, hardcore, to fighting games, for me, at least. Like, I love fighting games anyway, but to the depth of, like, dissecting the game, getting real good at it, and all that stuff. This dude, what should we call him? We'll call him,
we could call him we could call him
Buster
Mega
Cannon.
Buster. Okay, Buster Cannon, yeah.
That's his forum name, I think. Should we call him that?
Yeah.
Alright.
Or Silent Buster Cannon, or Silent.
Buster Cannon, yes, it doesn't say too much, but dude, okay, little do we know, we were at this group thing, we played like in a tournament style, like it wasn't a tournament, but we were playing like, where you set it up like a tournament style and have everybody in there. It was just like a big group gathering, and me and Trey were playing. So basically, like, me or Trey would be staying in the whole time. Well, one time I was in with 3 other people, and I didn't respect anybody, you know, in the game. Like, I mean, they were cool, but I didn't respect them in the game as far as, like, I was just trolling and stuff. And I like to do that anyway, but Jigglypuff, I was picking Jigglypuff, and this dude was picking Mario, and every other game he picked Mario too, like every other match. So he picked Mario this time. It was just me and him left. But he was not too bad, okay? But he still, you know, I could tell he wasn't like as good at Smash Bros. I like finished him by doing the down dodge on his attack into a rest and killed him. So that was awesome. But then we started talking because he figured out that me and Trey were good at Smash Bros.
Well, technically we didn't start talking as much as,
What happened?
I don't know.
You tell from here. What happened?
Well, we didn't, well, no, no, you can still tell. I was just going to say we didn't technically start talking because he didn't talk too much, so. So we started talking.
Oh, you just wanted to make a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, technically we kind of followed him around and, like, played with him because we figured it was a dude that was, like, pretty decent at Smash Bros. And we were, like, you know, looking for more people to play with. We bring some of our other guys over and stuff. And we started playing with this guy. And one time when we got in there, he was playing Marvel. Like, Marvel vs. Capcom 3. And
the game had just came out, by the way.
Yeah, like it literally just dropped. And he was doing like these combos in like training mode or whatever. He's just doing them going crazy. So we had the bright idea to try and play him.
God bless our souls.
Little did we know he watched like every FGC stream and like knew on all the forums, sure you can, you know, SRK, all that stuff or whatever, and was like hardcore into it. He was just doing zero, zoop, 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 zoop on us over and over again, and we didn't know what to do. We were stuck in the corner. We could not beat this dude. And we were like, we whooped this dude in Smash Bros. Okay, he literally, if it was the 3 of us playing, he never won.
Yeah, his footsies weren't good. His reads were terrible. I mean, everything about that's good that you'd have to be good in the fighting game was not too good with him. Like, you just would have never known, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Like, well, we'll get into it in a minute, but he's like kind of good at like the robot stuff, like memorizing the combos, doing the optimal stuff at the optimal time, stuff like that. I guess.
Yeah.
He's like plays like a robot kind of, like, yeah, but.
He's very similar to Smuggles, we'll tell you that.
Yeah. So yeah, he was picking 0 top tier teams and all this craziness. Like, I think that was right after the dude that won with like later on he like right after the dude won with like Rocket Raccoon and stuff. He started picking up Rocket Raccoon, so he was just going with them. But he was whooping on us, so that made us get mad and like try and like figure out how to beat him, because we were like, there's no way this dude should be beating us, and we'd be talking about it and stuff. And like that kind of grew into it, and he was telling us about the stream. Well, he doesn't talk that much, like Trey said, so he would tell us little by little about the stream.
Yeah, it'd be like for every every day you played him, you'd find out a new tactic or something. Like
push
he'd
blocking.
he'd mention cross up, and then like maybe a week or two later he'd be like, so what was that cross-up thing again? Like, you know, yeah, it was, yeah, he wouldn't, like, we just didn't know, like, well, at least I didn't know, like, anything.
Yeah.
And so he would do stuff like OTGs, but not having a clue what an OTG was. Or,
yeah, I had to learn that all by myself.
Yeah, like push blocking, you know, it was like, why am I stuck in this corner? Like, how come I can't get out? Or like, why am I blocking? Oh, well, that's the low. You can't block. You know, it was like, what, the low? Okay, so if I just block low, then I'm getting hit. Like, why did I get hit? That's an overhead. Like, well, then how do I block that? Oh, you got to stand up. And so, you know, just like, you know,
yeah,
you know, just all that stuff, you know, that I just didn't know. Then you like, you know, it was just like crazy. And it's like, oh, then why did you get me? Oh, it's a grab. Like, a grab I can't block it. No, you can't block it. Then you'll keep getting grabbed over and over. Well, how do I stop that? Oh, you can tech grab. Well, dude, you could have told me that from the get-go, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it would be that kind of stuff, and I would try and, like, look, after I found out about the streams finally, after, like, months and months and months, it might have been years, like, I started looking at streams and find stuff out, and would tell Trey little bits that I found out, and it was crazy. We would literally, like, get hyped trying to beat this dude. But then he got Cross Tekken, Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
Oh God.
So even before we started, even before we got to play it, he had obviously gone through it all. Before he even told us he had the game, I just kind of saw it, or saw him playing it or something, and I mentioned it. But he didn't even really mention it like that to us. He was fine with beating us in Marvel, I guess. But
wait. No, that's not what happened. Because we rented Cross Tekken. Remember that? And then because he was like he talked about how he didn't like it, how it was dumb and all that stuff. And I don't think he actually picked it up until like more of the Street Fighter people picked it up, kind of, until it was kind of accepted more, I guess.
Yeah, because we rented like a bunch of fighting games. I think we rented like Soul Calibur, and I beat everybody in that. Yay, okay.
Oh, I don't remember that at all.
Okay. But then we rented Street Fighter Cross Tekken too.
And he did okay against us, but he wasn't. No, it was because he picked Ken, and Ken played just like Ken plays, and he's a beast in Street Fighter type stuff.
Yeah, the old school ones he labbed in that too.
Oh yeah.
But he would like do stuff like we didn't know the stuff
about wake ups either.
Invincibility and all that, and how powerful Shoryuken was and all that stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Like where he'd just like wait for us to do something and he'd Shoryuken it, and then like do all that kind of stuff. So pretty much we learned how to play Street Fighter that way through Cross Tekken. Like, dude, I don't know, it was just crazy. Like, and then I think we started beating him a little too much for his liking in that game.
Oh yeah, and then he bought it, and then he like just labbed like crazy, and oh my goodness.
Then we had to do it all over again. But I think we did eventually pretty much like go through and like beat him in that game in the end.
Well, we did, but but then we didn't actually have the game, and we didn't know any combos in the game. So even if we gave him close, it'd be like, it'd be like playing Injustice.
Hello? Yeah,
where you can only hit the person one time. Yeah, so I mean, it was definitely.
You broke up when you said it would be like playing Injustice. I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, I was saying it would be like playing Injustice, where you can only hit the other person like one or two times, but they're using pre-patched Black Adam combos against you. So
yeah,
it was like we had to hit him like maybe 30 times, where he has to hit us twice.
Yeah.
And then we're dead pretty much.
Yeah, because we didn't have any of these games, by the way, like Marvel either.
Yeah, so he got to practice combos and lab and know the different stuff. And on top of that, he knew all the fighting game terms and tech, and we knew none of it. And yet we were still coming close to beating him on times.
Yeah. So that was what would make us mad, is just we had like better natural talent.
That's what made me mad, is that I picked Vega against him. And because in Cross Tekken you can swap out characters. And since all I knew was Vega, I would literally leave Vega in there the whole time while I swap characters and swap health. And I would still beat him just by using Vega. And the only time I would swap out was just to spam so that Vega could recharge some of his red health back.
And a lot of the time when, both of us are there, we play two, me and Trey on one team, since he would never want to play with one of us. And since we didn't really want to play with him because we wanted to beat him, it'd be like me and Trey with, we each having one character versus his two characters. But he would know, all the combos and when to switch and stuff, and we would just, panic, switching, or, we wouldn't know when we're switching in. And plus, it's the pride thing where we both wanted to be the one to beat him, so we never want to switch out.
Yeah, that was the worst. That was what made it so bad sometimes, that it was almost like playing it was almost like gambling, where it's you got just enough where you're no, I can take it.
I can take it.
And because we didn't really know how to save switch out either, you know what I mean? So, if we switched out, it was most likely going to cause the person that got subbed in to get hurt real bad, so they'd just have to switch right back out anyways,
Yeah.
And he knew how to switch out through combos and do a move that would put safe frames where you could switch out. We didn't really know any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was part of the problem too.
But we got better at that, and then you know, like we played him forever, and then like once he left and all that, we you know, would still play Smash with each other occasionally, and then Injustice came out, and we were both looking forward to like getting into our first game where we like really got to lab with it and play it and like, you know, be actually all it could be. So to everyone that loses to us in Injustice and is an experienced fighting game player, you are losing to. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, pretty much losing to guys that just picked up fighting games.
Okay, don't be so mean. We've already been mean enough. I've been mean enough.
Well, I mean, so you can see that we just picked it up, but at the same time we didn't. But this is like, at least for me, this is the first game that I've ever learned any combos for.
Yeah, same here.
And it's the first game that I've known the other characters that I've actually been fighting against. Like, you know, because in Cross Tekken and Marvel, you know, you didn't even know how to block half of this stuff. You know, just had to like learn.
We forgot completely to mention King of Fighters.
Oh no, I didn't forget. I did not forget.
He did the same thing to us, where he's been playing that game for years and tried to play it with us.
Yeah, we had to fight him in King of Fighters, which was pretty much the similar experience to Tekken, I guess, Cross Tekken.
Yeah, like we ended up beating him in that game because it was a little easier to win with just fundamentals instead of like having to know all the loops with Marvel.
I mean, but the problem with that game too was that we didn't know the other tech that the other characters had, so he could pick a new character.
Yeah.
You know, like in Injustice, you got to know that certain characters wants to go low. Like Killer Frost, you're going to be blocking low.
Yeah.
With Black Adam, you're going to be like weary of both. You know, and like, you know what? Like he could pick a new character, and we'd have absolutely no clue, and he wasn't going to tell us that this move attacked high, this move attacked low. This character is really good at this. You know, we didn't know, so.
Yeah.
That was one of the things, and there's like 1 billion characters in King of Fighters too. So
yeah,
you know, it was just.
Yeah, so I want to kind of wrap this up because, you know, we've been going for a while, and I don't have too much more time to do it. But yeah, that being said, with all that, that's our story. You got like a long Trey and. Talking background, if you're really looking for that, you know, you got it. But
if you need some exposition on the characters behind the mic,
should we do Injustice top 8, or is it kind of obvious?
Well, we could just like wait. Maybe we could just wait till after pools, I guess, or something.
You want to do it? I don't know if you'll have time to do it, or we'll both have. Well, we'll be...
Yeah, we'll be in the same area tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah, we could do it. We could do a live, or we could do a show together or something. I don't know. We could do that. We'll think about it, but, you know, I'm not going to pick anybody crazy anyway. I'm pretty much just saying Theo's going to win it, just like everybody else knows already. So I hope to be wrong, though. I hope to be wrong. Oh, can you give, like... I talked about spacing a little bit, but can you give your thoughts and maybe, since, you know, this is why we're doing the fighting dojo thing and kind of why, you know, like, we want to be more helpful than that guy was for us. Or we want to help you on the front end, you know? We want to help you, like, get into fighting games and, like, learn all this stuff, which most of you guys listening probably are into them. Or maybe you're a Nintendo fan that just like to listen or something, but anyways, if you're not, listen to this real quick. We were talking about spacing. How do you do spacing, and what's important to you about it? Or like, what's important to know about spacing? How do you do it correctly, I guess?
Well, okay, for me, the spacing, I put it as in. All right, hold on a sec.
All right.
All right. Rono Trey 15's back. Okay. Yeah, but like I was saying, what I really do with spacing is first you have to know the attack area that your character can do.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you have to know where on the field your character can hurt the opponent, but where on the field he can't.
Yeah.
And so, like, and you also have to know, well, I guess it takes, like, a grand knowledge of, like, both characters, too. So you have to know where their character can hit you and where they can't. And so you have to put yourself in a position where they can't hit you, but you can hit them. So you always want to be in the most optimal position. That even if it's 50-50, you want to always be, you have to decide if you want to be fighting where they're always going to be in their worst position, or if they're in a position where they can't hit you at all. So, for example, if I'm fighting Black Adam, I know that his sweet spots are far away from you, so I don't want to be far away from him. And I also know that his sweet spot is at like a mid-range where he can do that long overhead. And, you know, not only can he do that long overhead, but he can short hop dive kick. So the areas you want to be in is where you're going to constantly be pressuring Black Adam so that, you know, no area is really good against Black Adam, but his optimal range is far away. So, you know, you just want to fill in that gap. You know, you want to kind of like, you know, I guess that's why they call it zoning too, because you want to be, you know, in your zone of an area. You know, that's why they call it that. You know, keep them. That's why I think, like, even when I pick WW, I want to be, like, in a mid-range. Like, I always want to keep them at a mid-range base so that I can use the overhead whip. And so, you know, if they, you know, you can get them in a little box. Like, you just think the box. You got to imagine where you can be.
Yeah.
And then if, you know, if they get in, you know, because, you know, they don't want to be in that box. They want to be inside.
Yeah.
But the thing about Wonder Woman is that her sweet spot is where the tip of the whip is, but it's also, like, right next to her. So if they get in, it's my job to make sure they get more than they bargained for. So they have to get even that. I make sure that I fill in their space with the space I already had. You know, so they want to get inside, but I want to get even more inside. So I would say that spacing is about knowing, like, where your opponent wants to go and knowing how to either keep them out of it or make them get in there before they want to get in there, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was saying on the when we did it with Blue Fire and Zoldyck say, yeah, basically what you said, like, it changes from matchup to matchup too, you know, like, obviously, like, some characters, there's not really a good spot to be, you know, like, or, like, you know, there's not a spot where they can't hit you, like, Aquaman can kind of hit you everywhere, except for maybe in the air, but he can usually punish stuff from the air, but there's spots on the screen, like maybe if he does a from the deep, you can punish it, but you're still outside of his, you know, combo range or whatever is like other range. But yeah,
to me that's where a character can become broken. Is like, for example, Batman is good anywhere. Like, like that's what makes it so, like, literally the only place that you want to be is when he is knocked down, and you want to be right on top of him.
Yeah.
And it's hard because when he has the bats out, you kind of want to be as close. You want to have to be going. You kind of have to be yellow, and you have to go at him. Like, you can't let him come to you. That's the one thing about Batman. But that's easier said than done when fighting Batman. Yeah. Because he can just anti-air batarang and throw the bats out at the same time, which pretty much covers both options. You can't do a thing about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, like, I guess I learned it a lot, too, because, like I said, I played the multiplayer in Super Mario Bros. 3, you know, the Mario Bros. All-Star Edition. And that game was all about spacing, you know. The only thing you could do was hit someone with a turtle shell and, like, jump on their head. So you didn't want anyone to jump on your head, so you had to try to jump on their head.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, you know, it was, like, all about spacing. You had to, like, get into space. You had to, like, make sure, you know, if you didn't get the turtle shell first, you had to make sure you were, like, out of range.
Right. I feel like Smash is a little bit like that, too. Like, that's why I think Smash is more... To me, at least, it's kind of like all fundamentals, isn't it? I mean, unless you're playing something broken like a infinite grab or something like that, you know?
Yeah, that's what Smash is, too, is, you know, it's all about the fundamentals where, you know, like, because I used to play with Marth, so, you know, I guess Zero Suit Samus is the same way, and you guys might have seen it at, like, the tournament that Zero Suit Samus wants to keep you at the tip of the whip. Like, she wants to keep you there. Like, that's, you know, so if you move forward, she's got to move backward. If you move backwards, she's got to move a little bit forward. So it's her job to keep you at the tip of the whip. Yeah. And so if you're doing some tricky stuff, then her, you know, the most likely thing she should do is short hop back whip. Whereas, I mean, like, short hop and jump a little bit backwards, but still send the whip forward. So, I mean, that's, so it kind of like covers both options. Where if you back away, then, it might hit you, it might miss. But if you, like, go forward, then she's still kind of covered. You didn't get hit by the whip, but you're still not really close enough to her to, like, punish her.
Right. And that's the good thing about short hopping is it makes you have less recovery, and they can't, like, run underneath you or anything.
Yeah, I mean, like, KingshakI knows I do that with Ness all the time with, like, his, with a lot of his, like, he had a good, like, fair and dare game, too, where I could, like, short hop and, like, go backwards. So if he tried to do something, I'm still, like, out of range.
Yeah.
Because of the...
Smash also teaches you, like, baits, like, good baits and reactions, because you can kind of, short hop or, like, like, wiggle in the air, kind of bait out a move and punish it. Or you can, wiggle. Yeah, or you can, dodge something on reaction and stuff like that. It teaches just basic stuff I think is essential for fighting games. Little known fact, Chris G started out with Smash Bros, okay?
Yeah, and like another thing that they say that fighters don't like is they don't like randomized things, that you can't account for. Well, that's one of the things that you kind of have to do in fighting games, in Smash Bros. Specifically. So, for example, if your opponent keeps jumping in forwards and going back, then that means next time you just got to run in there and then, like, grab him or something, punish him, like, because you know what he's going to do. And so that's one reason why, even though you do it, you kind of have to be random. Like, sometimes you just have to throw out a bad move or, like, just to,
like Trey with the green arrow slide. You wouldn't expect somebody to do something that punishable random.
Yeah, you gotta throw something out there, like, unsafe from time to time, just to put it in their mind, like, so that they might wait for it, like, say, oh, he might do it again, when really you're never gonna do it again. You just want to put it in their mind, or you might want to put it out there so that it's constantly gonna be in their mind that, oh, he didn't forget about this move.
Dude, that's a good point, though. That's a problem with some of these guys that, like, might know all the stuff, know too much, Like, they know so much. It's like they know everything's this is unpunishable, this is so punishable and all that stuff. Why would you ever use that move? But that doesn't mean, just because something's, like, punishable or whatever, that doesn't mean you should never use it. Like, if you do, like, the 2-2-3 string with Superman, that string is so slow. And, like, it's always going to be over it. Like, I'm going to block that every time. You're not going to open me up with that. But, like, if you do 2-2 and then scoop, you might catch me every now and then because I'm expecting the overhead, But if you do it again, now then that's the time when you got me thinking about it. So that's enough. But if you do it again, that might get punished.
Yeah, that's kind of what you have to do with fighting games is that, I feel like what some people don't do is that they'll either do too many, like, high-risk, like, high-reward type moves, or they won't do enough. It's kind of finding a good balance where, me and KingshakI, he'll probably do more of the high-risk, more high-reward moves, and I probably won't do enough of them at times.
Yeah. Yeah, that's your weakness, and that's my weakness.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, because I remember when KingshakI went to a tournament, and I feel like he was winning it, but he kept going for the spike. And I was like, dude.
Yeah, the Smash Bros. Tournament, yeah.
Yeah.
I was getting too cocky.
Yeah, it was like one of those things where I'm a player in Smash Bros. Where I'll rarely go for the spike just because I'm like, I have so much faith in my fundamentals on the stage where I'm like, yeah, I could go for it, but I don't want a chance. I don't want to take the risk. Or sometimes it come back to bite you because of the random element. Where I might have been, cocky enough to think that, oh, I'll hold on so I can just do this, where I might just die, just as fast. He might beat me, but to me, I'm going to, like, play it safe, kind of.
Dude, I cried after that. I had to watch you instead of, like, that was such a bad tournament, though, because they knew nothing about what they were doing, because they put me and you together in the first match in Smash, and I lost, and then I had to run through all the way through loser's bracket, and then I was stupid and killed myself, so instead of getting second place, I got third, and I had to watch you beat that dude, and I knew I could beat that dude. Oh my god, I was so mad.
Yeah, you're going for too many yellow spikes.
Yeah, but hey, I've learned in Smash. Okay, I'm gonna correct my problem now. I'll probably do it a little bit still. So.
Yeah, I mean, but it's one of those things where, I mean, because you can't never spike, but, like, I mean, that's one of our friend's problems, too. What was it, Buster Cannon's problem, is that he always went for the spike.
He always
Like,
goes for everything he does. He always does it. You know, like.
Yeah, he always, like, that's one thing that he didn't have, is that he didn't have the random element. Like, he did what he should do, you know, what was technical.
He's like
or
what you
should do in the situation. And it's like, if you do what you should do in the situation, then your opponent knows you're going to do it, and so he can block it.
Yeah. It's like Justin, dude, that's like Justin Wong at last Evo. How did he make his comeback? He did the slow overhead with Akuma that nobody does. So, like, that random element literally won him, like, you know, that match with Chris G.
Yeah, see, I mean, that's what I mean. It's like, you know, sometimes you have to do what, you know, but, I mean, it's like one of those things where that's where it becomes tough, where sometimes doing the same thing over and over can catch someone off guard, too, because they're thinking they should switch it up. Like, you know, if he does that and he wins the match, and the next time, you know, what does he do? You know, if he's in a similar situation, because the guy has to be thinking, there's no way he would do it twice in a row. You know, there's no way.
If you watch oh, go ahead.
But at the same time, he's thinking, but wouldn't he just do the one that everybody knows they should do? So it's one of those things that, you know, it puts it in their, you know, thoughts.
Yeah. It's like if you watch me or Trey, like if Trey's doing that 4-2 down 1-3 string, right, with Green Arrow, he's not always going to do 4-2 down 1-3 because that's overhead, and then he'll mix it up sometimes and like go with the low ice arrow then or low arrow then and continue pressure like that, mixing it up. And just like, you know, like that with Aries, sometimes I'll go 1-1-2 Godsmack, or sometimes I'll go 1-1-2 low sword, or sometimes I'll go 1-1-2 teleport behind, or some, you know, anything like that. So you gotta
like that's one of the problems that I have with Batman as a character is that he really, like, a lot of his strings and his resets, I don't feel like he's risking anything at all, because it's like, you know, no matter what option he chooses, it's always a good option.
It's always safe too.
Yeah, it's always safe. So, and like with Hot Girl too, she has the same problem that no matter what option she throws out, it's still safe. So I don't feel like the person playing is putting any risk on, you know. Yeah. It doesn't really show you much about the character.
KC on blast earlier, just because, like, I feel like when I'm playing against him, you know, he's not doing anything risky, like, at all. Especially versus Aries, I couldn't do anything, like, at all. You know, just because he's doing, like, these pressure loops that are, like, you can't get out of it. And that to me, it doesn't show, like, you know, you're better at the game. It just shows, like, you're abusing, like, the system of the game, like using one character that just has that kind of stuff. That's why KDZ needed to get over that 4-2-3 breath getting nerfed, because
yeah, I mean, yeah, because that was the thing too, is that, you know, he's mad about it, but it should be nerfed, because it, you know, in my opinion, a fighting game, no character should have anything where their options are always good. You know, it should always be they have to throw something out there. You know, they got to risk.
That's what the melee players want too. Is like, you know, they're complaining about how much like recovery or lag or whatever they want to call it that the Smash 4 characters have on their aerials and stuff. It's like, dude, you can't have like a perfect aerial like for everything. You can't have like non-laggy moves like or punishable moves on everything you do, or else, you know, like.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying too. I feel like some players, you know, like, you know, the DG Juniors of the world and the Mets that like to rage quit, they would be perfectly satisfied if there was one button on your controller that you could just press.
And that's the win button.
And you could automatically just win. Like, they would be totally satisfied with that.
Yeah.
But to me, that's not what a fighting game is. A fighting game is showing, you know, who can, like, who can overcome their own weaknesses.
It's like a chess battle, except you're doing it with fists.
Yeah, it's like who can overcome their own weaknesses better by exploiting the other person's strengths at the same time. To me, that's what a fighting game is. Like, when we fight Green Arrow versus Aries, that's pretty much what it comes down to. You know both characters' strengths, we know both their weaknesses, and so it's pretty much like trying to exploit both.
Yeah, and neither one of them are like OP, you know. Even though
Yeah.
we'll cry about like the matchups and stuff to each other, like literally, if you read like me and Trey's like text conversations when we're having a 1v1, I'd be like, this is nope, 7-3 matchup, Green Arrow, you know, wins the matchup. There will be like crying, or it will be like lag, or it will be like something. So.
Yeah, but yeah, that matchup, I would say that matchup is about as much 6-4, 4-6, or 5-5 as there possibly could be in the game. Because,
we've gone through plenty of matchups.
Yeah, so I feel like it's like really, I feel like that matchup is like, if it's not 6-4 or 4-6, it's get like 5-5 or near there.
Because we can kind of tell, like, I guess we can kind of tell if, we're going somewhere close to even. And, like, as opposed to, like, if I play him like Ares to Wonder Woman, I'll beat him a lot. And like
where I can't do a thing. Like,
or if I play, like Shazam, the Green Arrow, he'll beat me a lot.
Yeah, I'll admit that matchup is terrible.
Yeah. So, but all right, with that being said, let's wrap up the show. You can shout it out on Twitter since you didn't get to shout out your Twitter and all that. And since this is basically another episode, we've been on longer than our last episode.
And I was also wondering, wouldn't you have to get this episode out pretty fast too?
Yeah, I'll try and get it out tonight, which is 7:10. If I don't, I'll try and get it out tomorrow morning.
All right. Well,
but
you
I won't have to
do
too much editing because we didn't really make any mistakes really or anything.
Yo, that's what up. That's what up.
So I'll just put an intro song and a closing song. So watch Evo this week.
I might even send you one, or maybe you could use one of the ones that.
Dude, I used all of them in the last podcast.
Okay, yeah, I guess I can send you some more then.
Okay, yeah, just send me 2 if you can.
All right.
Some fighting game ones probably or something.
All right,
maybe one of our throwback Diddy Kong Race or something, something like that we were talking about.
Oh, I got some music, yeah.
but real quick, where can they find you?
Yo, y'all can find me at Bro Noah Trey 15 on Miiverse, looking fly with the Brock haircut, Or y'all can find me at Bro Noah Trey 15 on Twitter, tweet. Holla at me.
You can find me at Kings_Hockey on Twitter and OP Kings Hockey on Miiverse. Y'all, we love you. Casey Ghost, we love you. Smuckles, we love you. Everybody, especially Gamer and Alondro, Kazko, all those guys are awesome. All right, thanks for listening, and we'll be watching Evo with you together. Me and Trey will be eating some pizza. So we're out.
Peace. Look at what up.